Good evening, guys and ghouls. Welcome to EchoCraft. I am Echo. Today, I am going to tell a paranormal story that my mom experienced one morning. Names have been changed for personal reasons. So cuddle up in a nice warm blanket, grab a drink, and grab a snack. Dim the lights, sit back, and get weirded out. We are going to have a haunted whip in story time. When I was younger, I remember my mom would pop off with weird questions ever so often. She asked me before if we had a specific conversation about a certain topic that day or the day before. Sometimes it would indeed confuse me, because either we had that conversation and I thought she forgot, or we haven't spoken to each other yet. One afternoon after I woke up, I walked into the kitchen to eat some breakfast. My mom, who was already sitting at the kitchen table, asked me if I was just in there looking for something. I told her that I hadn't been in the kitchen and that I had just woken up. I remember the look of confusion she had when I told her that. I grabbed a bowl, poured some cereal and milk into it, grabbed a spoon, and took a place at the table beside her. I asked her why she asked me if I have already been in the kitchen when I just woke up. Her response was, "I thought you already came in and went back to your room." I asked her what time this happened. She told me, "An hour ago." To my knowledge, the hour before she thought she saw me, I was still in bed, asleep. She would ask Henry the same questions that she asked me. She asked a couple of people that we knew if they actually had a specific conversation or if they talked on the telephone. There was a time that she had a phone conversation with my grandmother, but when my mom brought up the conversation to my grandmother, she informed her that they never talked on the phone that day regarding anything of the sort. My mom was sure that we were gaslighting her, but she knew that my grandmother wouldn't go along with any antics like that. I didn't know at the time why she would ask us about conversations we may or may not have had, or things that we may or may not have done, until she told me about one encounter she had experienced one morning. My mom is usually the first person to get up in the morning, whether if it's a work day or a weekend. And every morning when my mother wakes up, she kindly laid out Henry's work clothes for him, got herself ready, put on a cup of coffee, sat in the living room, and watched TV before she goes to work. When my mother's ex, Henry, gets up in the morning, she kindly gets up and makes him a cup of coffee too, and sits it beside her on the coffee table for two of them to sit together and chat before he heads off to work. My mom has always been an early bird and wakes up about 2 hours before she leaves for work in the morning, so she can enjoy her coffee, watch Golden Girls, and prepare herself mentally for a hard day at work. This particular morning started like any other morning. She woke up, got out Henry's work clothes, and put them on the edge of the bed like she always does. She walks quietly out of the room and makes her way down the hall and into the living room to turn on the kitchen lights. She attended to her beloved coffee maker and make a pot of coffee. While the coffee was brewing, she went into the bathroom where she placed her clothes that she would wear for work that were hanging on the back of the bathroom door and got dressed. She would fix her hair and makeup and finally have her a cup of coffee that she has been longing for since she got up out of bed. She took a sip and walked into the living room, sat the cup down on the coffee table, turned on the TV, and got comfortable on the couch. A little while after, she heard her bedroom door open, and she looked up from the TV and down the hall. Henry stood in the middle of the hallway, in front of the bathroom, with his work clothes draped over one of his arms, as if he was awake and getting ready for work. "Good morning," Mom told him. He didn't respond. He stood there in the dark hallway, glaring at my mom ominously with wide eyes. He didn't blink. He didn't look away. Just stared right at her in his pajamas and uncombed hair. When my mom's eyes locked into his, he oddly stepped into the bathroom, never taking his eyes off of Mom. My mother didn't think anything was out of the ordinary at first. She just got up off the couch and stepped across the kitchen to her coffee pot and poured Henry a cup of fresh hot coffee. She walked back into the living room and sat the cup down beside hers. She sat back on the couch and patiently waited for him. A couple of minutes passed, and Henry hadn't made it to the living room yet. Not even a shuffling sound of movement could be heard in the house. She feared that his coffee would become lukewarm by the time he would have made it into the living room. She figured he would have been sitting on the couch with her by now. She looked back down the hallway and noticed that it was still dark. The bathroom light wasn't even on, and the bathroom door was still open. After thinking about it, she couldn't recall him ever turning on the bathroom light. She got up to go check on him, walked in the dark bathroom and turned on the light, expecting to see him in there, but it was empty. No one was in the bathroom, nor were his clothes anywhere to be found. She thought maybe he went back into the bedroom to retrieve something or to change out of clothes. With concern, she walked back into her room and opened the door. Instead of seeing Henry dressed or getting ready for work, she finds him still asleep in the bed as if he had never awakened yet. My mom was furious with him, thinking he got up and decided to go back to sleep for another 15 minutes or so. He was up a little earlier than usual, but she didn't see the point of him going back to sleep if that is truly what he did. She flipped on the bedroom light and raised her voice at him. "Why did you go back to sleep after knowing you had to get up in 10 minutes? Henry roused up, pulling the covers over his head, replying that he had never gotten up yet. "Yes, you did, you liar. I watched you come down the hall and go into the bathroom to get dressed. You even looked right at me. I told you good morning, which you couldn't say the same to me. You just looked at me and stood there like a bump on a log before you walked into the bathroom. I got up and made you coffee. It's been ready for you for quite some time, and I am sure it is cold by now." Henry bitterly threw the covers off of him. "Are you crazy? What are you talking about?" When he threw the covers off of him, he revealed that he was still in his pajamas. My mom was expecting to see him at least fully dressed, laying back in bed. Well, you could have at least left your clothes on, knowing that you had to get up and get ready for work in a few minutes anyways. Why did you get undressed? She asked. Henry was confused and upset about how my mother was getting onto him over something that he didn't do. I never got undressed. I never got dressed to undressed. I never got up. You just woke me up, he answered. I haven't even left the room yet. My mom was aggravated at this point because she knew she saw him coming down the hall, stood in front of the bathroom with his work clothes over his arms, and looked directly at her with awake eyes. To her, he seemed very well awake and very well real. My mom still swears to this day. She knew she saw him awake and went into the bathroom. Henry went on about how crazy she sounded. And to be fair, I guess to him who'd never gotten out of bed since he laid in bed to sleep, it did sound a little crazy, especially when he knew he hadn't been out of bed until the second when my mom woke him up. My mom argued with him until she looked at his work clothes that she got out and had folded nicely on the edge of the bed for him. The clothes were still folded neatly, lying on the edge of the bed where she left them, and she noticed they were completely untouched. Seeing the clothes on the bed baffled her, because she knew he had them carelessly draped over his arm. She tried to make sense of the situation, but couldn't find words to express how she felt in that moment, after realizing that the clothes were untouched. Knowing how sloppy Henry was when it came to folding and sitting stuff down, she knew he couldn't have folded them back up. Seeing that his clothes were sitting in the exact way she had laid them, put an end to the argument and helped Henry win his case. She realized that she woke Henry up out of deep sleep, and it dawned on her that she never saw the bathroom light coming on when he entered, which he typically always turned on the light before he dragged himself into the bathroom. This was the first humanoid apparition that my mother has ever seen or ever acknowledged. She began to understand that I was telling her the truth about physically seeing shadow people in my room. Before this incident, she played it off that I was only having nightmares and that my eyes were playing tricks on me. After going through and being shaken up by what she saw, she now believed everything that my older sister and I have seen and told her about, like the dark mass, the size of a dog darting in our rooms and across the hall, seeing silhouettes of a person standing in a dimly lit room that's not completely dark, hearing voices that we were not for sure where they came from, things moving from the corner of our eyes, and so much more. She was questioning everything and came to terms with the thought that maybe our house was actually haunted. A couple of other experiences has confirmed that fear. That morning when she woke me up, I noticed that something was off with her, like she had seen a ghost. She wondered if she had seen a ghost, but then why did it look exactly like Henry? Was it an apparition? If it was an apparition, did it just want to scare her or make itself known? Was it playing a trick on her like it had done before? Did she fall asleep for a short moment and dreamt of him there, woke up to get coffee unaware that she was dreaming? She knew that wasn't the case. It was all too real. She knew what happened was real. What if Henry was right and she was going crazy? Or was there something darker going on with Henry that she didn't know of yet? Maybe this explained why she would sometimes ask questions about conversations we had and encounters with each other, because she wasn't for sure if they were real or something entirely paranormal. Out of all the things my mom experienced, she still claims this event to be the one that scares her the most. Still to this day, this experience shakes her to her very core, because she knows she saw Henry standing in the hallway that morning, and after knowing that it was definitely not Henry that stood in the hallway and looking right at her, she wonders who was really standing there. Sometimes it's best not to ask questions like this, because the answers may be more chilling than what we would like. After months of Henry calling my mom crazy, he too has begun to experience some things that he couldn't explain. Some things actually were quite fatal, quite physical. The spirits that was in our house, yes, they may have scared us, but they have never physically touched us. But Henry experienced so much more than just physical hauntings. Some of them almost cost him his life. But don't worry, he is still alive. With everything that he has endured in our house, it is indeed a miracle that he literally survived. You may think that I am joking or over-exaggerating. Trust me, I am not. My mom always assumed that the spirits in our house didn't like Henry, considering all of the physical stuff that has happened to him. So I guess spirits that was in our house didn't like to be mocked. And that indeed was what Henry was doing, was mocking them. So the next time anyone claims to have a spirit in the house, don't mock them, because trust me, you don't want to end up like Henry. Have you ever seen anything that you couldn't rationalize? Have you had a similar experience before that is embedded into your memory? Let me know in the comments. Come back next week for some spooky ASMR. Have sweet dreams.